Hello everyone and welcome to Space Marine 2. This game has been provided me thanks to Fanatical.com, who I have linked to in the description below. Typically they have the lowest price for games like this from an official key reseller, meaning they actually buy it directly from the publishers. That's why I link them. When I buy stuff for myself, that's who I use. And they're also generously providing a key for you guys out there. So if you see on my main community page where I'll ask what's your favorite Space Marine chapter, and if you answer, I'm going to randomly select someone to give this key to. But this is a game I've been personally looking forward to. New game, definitely want subtitles on. Motion blur is good, audio, little accessibility, we're going good. Now you'll notice that I am playing with a controller. This is actually a PlayStation 5 controller, which works on PC, humorously enough. And I know that it's sort of weird to say that, but a lot of games don't have native PlayStation 5 controller support. In the 41st millennium, humanity stands on the brink of annihilation. The galaxy-spanning imperium of man is beset on all sides by hostile aliens and threatened from within by traitors and heretics. It is an age of constant war, a new dark age in which enlightenment is replaced by superstition, rhetoric, and blind prayer. To live in such times is to be one amongst untold billions, existing in the cruelest and bloodiest regime imaginable. The most powerful and dreaded of the Imperium's defenders are the Space Marines, bioengineered superhuman warriors, their humanity's last bastion against the terror. There is no time for peace, no respite, no forgiveness. You might can tell I'm a little excited for this game, and it's not just the 2 cups of pumpkin spice coffee talking. I played the first Space Marine game, ironically, only like a year or 2 ago. In the grim darkness of the far future, there is only war, which is, if not the official slogan of Warhammer 40K, is the unofficial slogan. It's a great hack and slash game. The first one it's funny because the first one's made in, I think, 2012, and it feels like a 2012 hack and slash. And I love hack and slash games. That was my genre as a kid. Dynasty Warriors, Fable, anything where it's third person running and smacking things, I am down for it. So it's great to see a return of this genre with Space Marine 2. And it's funny reading a lot of the reviews that come out for this game because I think a lot of people don't remember that the first game existed in a way. Like they're like, oh, Space Marine existed, but they don't remember a lot of the mechanics from it. So I'm curious to get in and actually try it myself. It's gorgeously rendered cinematics. I did get in just long enough to tweak my settings to make sure it all should play correctly here, so hopefully it will. Lovely double eagle of the Imperium. For those of you that don't know, Space Marine is set in the far distant future of the 41st millennium. It's actually not Warhammer 40K anymore, ironically. And my knowledge of 40K is not nearly as good as my knowledge of Warhammer Fantasy. I've been learning it for the last 2 or 3 years now, trying to get into it because I think there are 5 times more 40K players than there are Warhammer Fantasy. So it's definitely a game that if you go into your local game shop, you're going to see people playing. It's incredibly popular. When it says the Xenos threat Tyranids, Xenos is the word for aliens. Tyranids are Zerg, I guess, for lack of a better comparison. If you played StarCraft 2, or if you've played Starship Troopers, the bug people there, or if you played Helldivers, the bug people there. Although in here, they're a little more fleshy, a little more organized, much closer to the Zerg, because I think initially StarCraft 2 actually started out as a 40K game, and they sort of branched it off at the last second to be like, okay, well, go and get the licensing, we'll make our own thing. So what they're talking about here is they're submitting encrypting messages. If this looks really bad 80s to you, just know that in the future, things don't work very good. In Astropathic Relay, they're using psychics to project messages through time and space. Deathwatch killed Team Primus. So Deathwatch, all the Space Marines are divided into chapters. Each one kind of has their own color, their own personality. And Deathwatch is something anyone from any chapter can join, and it's sort of a Black Ops group, for lack of a better saying. They're faction agnostic. They go in, they do the dirty messages, they do the dirty jobs, and don't expect to live through it at the end. So it's one of those high honors. You can join the Death Watch and go do that. Now, some people get banished to it as well, I believe. Like I said, feel free to correct me in the comments if I'm making a misstatement there, but that is who we're seeing right now. They're sort of the bad boys who are going to serve some higher penance. They're faceless, nameless, and even more so than the regular Space Marines. Gosh. This is being made by the same people who made DayZ, and in the next couple of moments you're actually going to see the swarm tech that they used for the DayZ video games being used here. So that's the idea that the zombies kind of pile on top of each other, a bit like ants. If you've seen World War Z, not DayZ, World War Z with Brad Pitt, you remember the scene where they kind of climb on top of each other to overcome the walls. And we're going to see that put to the same usage here. I haven't gotten to fight them yet. I just saw it in the distance, so hoping to actually get in here and smack some people. Now, initially, I actually wanted to jump right into the multiplayer, but you can't. You have to play the tutorial first before you can access the multiplayer, which, to be fair, is probably a pretty good idea. I mean, you want to make sure your players understand the basics of your game before you do that. Hello, lovely black screen. Oh no, we crashed. That didn't happen yesterday. Well, that's an auspicious start. Right, so we're going to load back in while it's a black screen and try and get back into the first mission. Like I said yesterday, I loaded it in just fine, no issue. But there are, I think, 255,000 people playing this right now. So shockingly, it may be a little crowded with people trying to access servers. I heard someone say that you have to log into Epic to log into it. I didn't run into that problem, but then again, I also have Epic installed on my computer, so maybe it's just doing a background check that I haven't run into, but that could be a thing. It also uses the easy anti-cheat software because, as I said, it does have a multiplayer component, so you want to make sure that people aren't doing anything, screwy, because Lord knows they want to. Anything they can do to cheat, yeah. All right, native PlayStation controller support, which is super cool. You don't see that a lot. Normally, if you plug a PlayStation controller in on the PC, it freaks out. Okay, if I click continue, what's going to happen? Will it just start me at the beginning? Let's try. So we know we crash landed here, so let's see where it gets us. Yep, so nope, it's gonna, okay, can't skip apparently. All right, well, I'm just gonna, there we go. Great. Yep, I can skip. Awesome. It's little quality of life stuff like that you don't think makes a difference, but Man Alive does it. And we're back in. Oh, hear that chainsaw purring. Now I know you're thinking, Cody, why are you using a PlayStation 5 controller? I generally think they're better controllers for a multitude of different reasons here. All right, looking around. Oh, what a gorgeous planet. That's one thing. This game is just beautiful. So many little details. Show mission status, where we're going, all that kind of fun stuff. Right, so like when I'm running right now, I can actually feel it going left, bump, right, bump, 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 bump. The controller's vibrating on the left or right, depending on where I walk, which is pretty cool. Alright, and that's what I was talking about, that swarm tech. You can see them actually getting up the walls over there. Now, that could just be animations, but my understanding is it's using the same technology, so I would expect us to actually be able to interact with that at some point inside the game. Yeah, if you're wondering what this game's going to be like, it's going to be fighting a lot of bug guys, which Helldivers 2 will tell you is a lot of fun. So, alright, let's get into this. That's right, kick the barrel. Kick the chair. Keep kicking chairs. Nice. Yeah, a bit too big for chairs, these Space Marines are. Oop. Right, first taste of combat should be coming up here. Hormagaunts are sort of the basic level Zerglings. Alright, so the default for attack is right shoulder. I switched it over to square, which is the left face button, because that's how it used to be back in the day. I'm an old fogey, and that's how I like to play. I don't like pulling the shoulder for this. I definitely prefer using my thumb. Yeah, you do have armor regen, but obviously if you take away the block, you kind of lose the block permanently, so you got to be careful there about not losing any permanent health. Health does regen, so you'll notice our little thing will regenerate here in a couple seconds. Boop, there it goes. Right, and if we lose all of those, we start to lose health, and you lose health segments. But yeah, I'm an old fogey, and definitely prefer the face buttons. Thank you for telling me to sprint. Already doing that. Heavy attacks. Hold down to finish a chainsword combo with a heavy attack. The longer the combo, the more powerful the heavy attack. Use heavy attacks against large groups of enemies. Copy that. Actually, I could just tap and not have to hold for the next screen there, but hey. Okay, dash through them. So much blood! L1 to parry. Perfect parries will instantly kill smaller enemies and will stagger larger enemies. Okay. Anything with a blue encounter. Hold X to knock back enemies. Experiment with different combos. Yeah, I think I just gotta wait for them to spawn here. Spores. Oh, here they come. Ah! Come on. Ah! Dodge, dodge! X is dodge, yes! Okay. Press L1 to parry attacks. L1 to kill Horgon attempting a special attack. Alright, look for someone trying to attempt a special attack eventually. Oh, here we go. Alright, so I can redirect my attention to whatever is important coming up. That's nice. X to dodge. I was already doing that. R3 to lock on. Dodge attacks. Cannot be parried. Makes sense. Okay, locked on. Whoop. Okay, didn't need to dodge that one. I could have parried it. That's okay. Alright, what can I do? Come on. No. I can execute with R3. Oh! Bloody finishers. And, just like in the first one, you get health back when you perform really cool executions. Kind of incentivizing you to do that, to say the least. It's sort of like Mortal Kombat fatalities, and you get health. As you can tell, it's a fun game. I had fun with the first one. They do get a tad repetitive, as most games like this do. But if you like hacking and slashing things, you're not going to have a bad time so far. So let's see how this goes. I think it's just an aspect of the genre that a lot of people forget about. It's like, yeah, you know, the whole point is to hack and slash when you're not hacking and slashing. What are you doing? Now, you do get guns in this game. You get some pretty cool ones. You get your bolters and your heavy bolters, and last time you had axes and some... Huh. Oh, jeez. Woof. Right. So, one Space Marine is worth about 50 of the other guys. And so one of the cooler things, oh geez, about the PlayStation 5 controller is the triggers are haptic, and I love that. So like when you pull it down part of the way, it's not until the last second that it actually tips over. And it is such a gimmick. And you wouldn't really want to do it on multiplayer because it definitely throws off your aim a little. But in games that are single player like this, it feels so cool. And that's why I play with a PlayStation 5 controller and love that they support it here. It's one of those things that I would love to see more things support. Currently it's mainly Ubisoft games, weirdly, that support the PlayStation 5 controller, but like I bought it 3 years ago and have been able to use it on like 2 games, so I'm always excited when a game does support it because it's so freaking cool. So swash, yeah. Oh gosh, just evaporate these guys. X hold square to knock back small enemies, mark them for a gun strike. R2 to perform a gun strike on a marked enemy. Gun strike instantly kills small enemies, deals significant. Alright, so if I knock somebody back, it kind of combos into the gun. That makes sense. Alright, ready? That's right. So I think that trigger is them saying it's gotta... Oh, nope. Found it. Haha. Left shoulder. Wasn't ready for it right there. Pressed the wrong thing. But it definitely got him. Got that parry, that instant peel parry. Oh, that's cool. It instantly locks onto the guys if they're on the ground with that little crosshair. So, it's pretty easy to track, too. I was worried it was going to be too small to see, but that actually worked pretty well. Whew. This is normal, but like you can feel the intensity of the battles right there. Everything feels really weighty and really heavy, especially with this PlayStation controller. It's like boom, 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 boom. All right, now let's wade in. I think I got some blasters up there, so we got to get out of the way. Oh. Is that explosive? Yes! Rule of video games. If it is red, it explodes. And that's probably plasma. Oh, that's pretty cool. Gotta check it, you know, not every game does it, so... Is there a reload? Yes. Y or square does, at least in the controller version I'm using. Alright. Yeah, giant superhuman beasts. These guys are probably 8, 9 feet tall. I'm not sure what the canon answer is, but I know that they are head and shoulders above regular humans. These Space Marines are. You know. Retrieve the virus bomb. Sufficiently meaty. Oh. Gonna beat Charles with Charles. Oh, that was fun. I mean, that was super telegraphed. They clearly wanted me to be able to do that, but like still being able to do it was so fun. And catch him in midair and smack the shit out of his buddy with him. Oh, I love it. Oh man, you got dealt with, bud. But it's all right. I think you took a couple with you. Now, Space Marines are not unlimited. I know in the regular thing, they have medics that come up and try and harvest their gene seed to be able to reimplant it in other people. You know, these guys will serve for hundreds of years at a time. Super duper elite. So it's definitely a case of you don't want to lose one, but clearly one guy is worth 50 others. Oh, I do not like that. Oh, that really triggers my, I don't know what, sense of disgust. That definitely feels infected. Alright, so I can't kill him. He's currently locked in his animation. But I tried to save my buddy. Come on. Come on. Heavy, heavy, heavy. Think I was going to play fair? No. Chainsaw to the abdomen. Alright, here we go. These are bolter bolts this guy takes. Big boot. That's interesting, that will lock on like that. So if someone's on the ground, it really does provide you with a quick way of sort of getting to them. Oh, jeez. Okay, ow. Really don't want to die to this guy. So you know what? I'm just going to shoot you a whole bunch. Can I just keep shooting you to die? Yes, I can. Should have probably healed myself right there, but, you know, I was just curious if I could actually just shoot him to death and not have to bother with the executes. And I didn't. So that's fun. No. Well, he was gonna attack me, and then he died. Alright. Good. Hold square to break blocks. Ooh. Catch him in midair. Oh, no, that was a block. That was a dodge. That was a dodge. Ooh. Well, that's incredibly useful. So yeah, I guess the idea there is that if it's sort of a ranged execute. It works the same way, so that way if you're not right next to them, you still have a quick way of getting what you need there. Now, I do play on normal the first time through on most games because I have no idea how the difficulty is going to scale on games like this. Obviously, it's pretty easy right now. This is the tutorial mission. What do you expect? But there's a game, speaking of hack and slash, oh, there's that Swarm Tech right there. So Focus is also the people that make the rat game, the rat Plague Tale Innocence. And you can see that same tech on display right there. All right, down switches. It's just like a rifle now, which is, yep. And then versus the bolter there. Okay, so it's that same swarm technology you see moving around. There's a game, speaking of hack and slash games, back on the Xbox 360 that I loved, a Conan video game based on like the actual books with Ron Perlman as Conan's voice, which was pretty fun. But it the difficulty ramping on that one was insane. Like, you'd play on normal, and by the end of the game, you would get to this particular... Oh, geez, those are actually going to attack me? There's a huge wave of people. Hold on. Let's bait him in, bait him in, bait him in, bait him in. Boom! I love it when games let you do stuff like that. Like, it's clearly set up for me to do it, but, like, putting it there for me to do it, that's fun. L2 and augmented vision. L2 and R2? Is that what it said? Oh yeah, so you can sort of do like a part zoom. Oh, that's fun. Maybe certain guns have that. But yeah, that particular Age of Conan game, just you would get to this final boss, and it was like this boss in the Underdeep, and it was ridiculously difficult. Like, I don't even know. Like, it was one-hit kills. It was everything you can think of. Like, the difficulty scaling just was out the door. And it didn't, I would put it down on easy, and even very easy, and still have difficulties for that final match. I actually went back a couple of years later to try it again. I'm like, nope, there's still something busted with that. Like, the damage was scaling wrong. So, you never know on games like this, because it's always going to get a little tougher towards the end. Oh.
The virus must be launched into the stratosphere. Nothing else matters.
Yep, gonna plague ourselves some guys there. Apologize for checking the corners. You never know in games like this if you're gonna run into some hidden collectibles up in the corners. I'm not saying this is gonna work, but I am saying I'm gonna try. Alright, just checking. I mean, those are probably pretty well made. Whoa! It's funny because they close so quickly that, like, you can try and get some shots off, but really, you don't know. You don't know. Gosh, you're gonna get into that actual visceral combat so quick there. So you try and get some shots off before they get close enough, I guess. Oh, he recovered. Oh man, didn't know he could do that. Get some health back with an execute. Yes. And everybody else crumpled. Okay, that's one of the fun things about these guys is that they're controlled by a sort of hive mind leader, and so that everybody else is sort of taking their orders from him. So I guess when he died, they all crumpled, which is pretty cool that they have that in the game. I cannot fit through that door, so I assume I'm not trying to go there. Classic pathing in games like this.
Your tardiness has been flagged for invigilation.
Open the gates.
Shift chronometer reset. You're registered as on duty. Carry out the Omniscience work according to the divine synchronicity.
If you don't know who the Omnisci is, now is not the time to get into that. Just know that the head of the human world is a dude who is strapped to a chair, and he sort of is also strapped to a robot chair now. And so there's a whole bunch of people that worship him as a machine spirit, because he's also technically like kept alive by the machine. So it's like, is he a man or is he a machine? It gets weird. The point is, it's interesting. It's just, you know, you gotta read into it a bit further to have that make any sense. So if you're just now encountering 40K, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Just know that, you know, it's another name, sort of like the Holy Trinity sort of idea. They have the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. This is the Father, and then the machine spirit. Same guy. Load it. Oh yeah. That's how you know you're about to do something good. Giant revolver. Yeah, it's an interesting blend of like low tech and high tech. So you have this like super advanced society using like really basic stuff, because a lot of, you know, the greatness of mankind has been lost through the years. That's right. Oh yes, grenades. How do I use grenades? Circle. I'm gonna accidentally throw those a whole bunch. Full. You know what? This would be a great time to throw a grenade. Whew, yeah, that was satisfying. You know what? I think I have another one. I will throw that grenade as well. You know what? I can just hose the rest of you guys. I don't think it's going to be a thing here. It's interesting because, like, the guns are definitely more, they feel meaty in a way that it's like they're surprisingly, shockingly, they're supposed to be your first primary offensive capability, and the sword is sort of the backup. You know. You know, the sword feels fun, but it's definitely the sidearm. You know, you're more likely to get hit and take damage if you don't stop them before they get to you. Now, I do recall they give you different weapons, though, like power axes and stuff like that, at least in the first game. So if you want to go primary melee build, you can. I'm excited to see what they do in the multiplayer, because there's different classes. As I recall, there's an assault class, there's a heavy class, and I definitely want to customize them to my favorite factions. Get some Imperial Fists in there, get some Space Wolves in there, get some Night Lords in there, because I think you can play as either Chaos or regular Space Marine. I'm actually not sure if it's locked. It would make sense if it's Chaos versus regular, but I don't know. I haven't gotten to it yet. Yeah, no kidding. Boom, bonk, 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 bonk. They also have like a sniper class and like a scout class, which, I guess that's the closer to like the Raven Guard kind of guys, that kind of thing, which are fun. Not really my bag. I like it. I like that they exist, but I'm not sure I'd play a whole army off of it. Hello, Magrail. Okay. Okay, serve until activation is complete. Holy woe. You know, any other game, I would say, I think these are not actually coming towards us. But in this game, I think they are. Because look at that. These guys are actually coming this way. What in the hell? They got, oh jeez, like, are they gonna like swarm right up here, I guess? Okay, there's no, oh wow, that is amazing. I have never seen that in a game. Okay, they're getting up the sides. Okay, I had to say, oh, they're piling, ah! Less talky, more shooty. Come on. Ah. Come on. Execute that guy. Whew. I guess he recovered. Okay. Yeah, didn't hurt me, so... I like how the game isn't... Ah! Okay. I really want to shoot into that pile of guys and see what happens. But I don't think I'm going to get a chance. Launch the virus bomb into the stratosphere. Yep, okay, we'll do. Gonna get right on that. I promise. As soon as I can move, I will. Dodge roll! Classic technique. Gosh, I miss this genre. There's a really cool looking one coming out that's a roguelike. It's called like Clan of Steel, Brother of Steel, something like that. But it's a roguelike third-person game with like a comic book style with Scotland, which I am all about that. I'm excited to see that one come out too. That's right. Do it. The thing is, even if they run out of ammo and chainsaws, those giant meat paws right there just rip people in half. Uh-oh. Come on, bud. Get up. You got this. And I guess this is Captain Titus reveal. Yep, Captain Titus, hero of the first Space Marine game. And if you're wondering what those 4 studs on his head mean, best guess is that's 400 years of service successfully completed. Helmet came off, so this could be dicey. Originally voiced by Jeremy Strong, so I suppose he probably has here as well. there's so many little things. They're disgusting. I love it. Can I roll over them?
I will not rest until you lie dead at my feet.
So at the end of the first game, you were stopping a Chaos Marine from ascending to godhood, and you get recruited by a bunch of guys that came in. So I guess this is sort of taking penance for all of that. It's interesting in, like, you know, in situations like this, because clearly your health is not there. So I guess the idea is you just fight until you can't anymore. But I'm also often unclear, you know, how long you're supposed to actually fight for the game to count it as succeeded. Like, clearly it wants us to come on, get it. There we go. Block it. Come on. Okay, you know what? Here. No mistake. Click on the wrong thing. I got you. Okay, can't just hold parry. You gotta wait for it to come in. Good to know. Gosh. Rated T for teens, kids. Realistically, this is probably a rather mature game, if I had to guess. I'm definitely doing this when my kids are not at home. There's something about just being bathed in buckets of blood, but oh, jeez. You know, it's definitely harkens back to Berserk and all that kind of fun stuff, which I loved as a teen. Alright, here we go. Alright, bud, come on. Come on, son. You know you want some. Okay, that was my bad. Uh-oh. Please don't tell me this is like Tomb Raider. It's like you screwed up, now you're dead. I don't know what this says. QuickTime events. That's right. Get some Uruk-hai moment right there. Pull yourself down on it. Yep. In case you're worried about him, Space Marines have backup organs. I think they have like 2 hearts, 4 livers, and like 13 lungs or something like that. So if one gets messed up, it's cool. It's cool. We'll just work around it. Work around it. See if we can make it through a load screen this time. That was quite a fun intro, and it sounds dumb to say, hey, that was quite a fun intro, but I play so many games, and occasionally you come across one that has a bad intro sequence, and you're like, man, I don't want to play your game anymore. That was not one of them. That was everything I wanted it to be. Lots of fun, high action, slashing, hacking, and I just want to keep doing more of it. And that's how you should feel. It's like a good chapter at the end of a book, right? Good chapters in a book. It should end and make you want to read the next chapter. Oh, about to see some shirtless Space Marine action. Ooh, yeah, I give the ladies what they're looking for. While Bone Daddy over there looks on. That's called a chaplain, by the way. He's sort of like their priests.
The wound was fatal.
Hmm.
You survived only through the Rubicon surgery. We remade you.
Rubicon surgery, the Primaris.
Primaris now.
Oh, Primaris. Okay. I said it Primaris.
Lord Calgar issued the command himself. Is he here? Gone. Summoned by the Primarch.
I'll explain in a minute.
I must get back to the Watch Fortress.
You have been reassigned.
Ooh.
My place is with the Deathwatch.
The Inquisition can find no stain on you. Titus, accused of heresy. You have served penance in the Deathwatch for almost a century. And not once have you faltered. But you will never know redemption until you have faced the judgment of your brothers.
Originally, he was an Ultramarine.
Yourself to us, and no true absolution.
Which is that symbol right there. Ooh, rolling out some scrolls.
My honor is my life.
What is your fate?
You about to get some like badass looking tattoos? What's happening here?
What is your fear?
My fear is to fail.
High Gothic.
What is your reward?
I assume none.
My salvation
Oh.
is my reward.
I like how it doesn't look like metal anymore, so it's supposed to be like a weird ceramic alloy thing, which looks great.
What is your pledge?
My pledge is eternal service.
Yeah, pretty cool. So the Primaris in this case, they took regular Space Marines and then they sort of...
Surgery has remade
Yeah, maybe
you
he'll
as a
explain it.
Primaris Marine. You are now stronger, faster, and more resilient.
Also slightly taller.
Take your place as an Ultramarine once more. Your brothers will know that you served in the Deathwatch, but your dishonorable status as a Black Shield has been redacted from the archives. Should it be discovered, there would be questions. Lord Kelgar has offered you a second chance. Do not
Manius
take
Kelgar,
it.
head of the Ultramarines. Right, and we got a beautiful flying cathedral to look around on, because that's what their spaceships are, giant flying cathedrals. Right, so the Primaris were, like, there's two different versions of it. So in the lore, right, there's sort of this thing to help combat the new Tyranid threat. In the sort of, like, under the scene, behind the scenes sort of, like, explanation for it, they technically are true scale Space Marines, like, in that they are the actual height larger than regular people. And they were going to refresh the entire line of Space Marines, but instead they're like, oh, we can sell them as something different. So the Primaris became like a separate unit. Though if you go buy Space Marines now in the store, they're all just Primaris. They don't seem to have the distinction between the two. And I think it's because they're just easier to paint. They're slightly larger, so especially for people with me with giant, meat paws that are short and stubby, it's definitely easier to paint Primaris than it is old Space Marines. And also the sculpts just look a little better, and so they kind of needed a way to bring them in and bring in those new sculpts. These guys are, oh, that's cool. So these are tech priests, and those are their servitors. They're basically human zombie skeleton zombies, like driven by robot parts that these guys control. They're sort of like just using your flesh as the thing to bind things together. If you haven't figured it out yet, Warhammer 40K is what they call grimdark. Everything in the future is slightly worse, and everyone is terrible, and even the Space Marines, who are quote-unquote the good guys, are still pretty bad guys, like with a lot of really crazy fascist ideologies attached to them. But it's really fun to ignore all that and just smack bugs. And that's one of those things when it comes to lore and stuff like that. Lore is fine until lore starts getting in the way of the fun you're having, and then it becomes an issue. And you'll notice these little things right here that are puffing out. Those are actually exhaust ports. They're not like jetpacks. There's a nuclear reactor strapped to that guy's back, and that's outgassing coming off the end of it. And I've never seen that in a game, and it looks so freaking cool. Oh, thank you for scanning me. Find anything you like, big boy? All right. Okay, what do we got here? So that's a scout armor I was talking about.
Lieutenant Titus reporting for duty.
Have Sergeant Gadriel report to the bridge.
I recognize that voice.
How are your wounds?
I think that's Soap's voice actor from Modern Warfare.
I'll be straight with you, Titus. I have my reservations about your reinstatement. There could be questions, suspicions. I cannot afford discord among the men. No, no.
Well, you'll be happy, Discord is mostly free. I mean, you can always do a server boost, but... Oh, that's not what you meant.
Will that be a problem?
No
No, except it should be Lieutenant, because they're space British.
We're facing a Tyranid splinter fleet. They engaged us on 2 planets.
Okay.
A hive world, and Kadaku, which you already know. We're abandoning the latter. It's mostly Adeptus Mechanicus research facilities.
Those are the robot dudes. So they're sort of different factions, so they're useful. They definitely work for each other, but, you know, as you said, it's not their problem.
Skies clear for our ships. The Tyranids have taken note.
Oh, have they now?
Get down there and protect those guns.
Captain, you wish to see me?
Sergeant, this is Lieutenant Titus. He'll be taking over command of your squad.
Sir,
I expect you on the ground within 30 minutes. Dismissed.
Well, I'm sure they're going to love that. So there is an option when you start the game that whenever you're in a mission, everyone keeps their helmets on. Otherwise, they all take the helmets off for easier identification.
I am merely surprised.
Oh, dude, it's the Ultramarine sword guys. Oh, these are... hold on. Okay.
Sergeant Gadriel, the Absolver is ready to depart.
Okay, good to hear.
Tyron, this is Lieutenant Titus. He will be leading our squad. Is that so? Well, I shall be glad to have a commander of such experience. Is the rest of the squad ready? Already assembled on the flight deck. Good. We leave immediately.
Oh, you can edit your squad. So this is what I was talking about, these guys. They're like, they're sword brothers, but these are like the personal guard of the generals. I always thought they looked so cool. Now, they're unique to Ultramarines, but I just love that. I actually printed a couple of those out for myself because they look so freaking cool. All right. Edit squad. Curious what that means. Close edit mode. Oh, okay. So you actually invite people to play with me. That's what they mean. So you can actually play with real people. Okay, interesting. So these aren't just AI. I can actually have people join me to play. Very cool. All right, and what is this? Battle map. Serves as a center of operations. Like a plan to start a mission. Current mission marked with yellow. Change game mode allows you to switch operations and internal game modes. So obviously we're on the campaign right now. These are operations, which are going to be quick matches. These are co-op stuff. An Eternal War, PvP game mode, Battle for the Fate of the Imperium never ends. Quick match is the best way to join a squad. So yeah, capturing, oh gosh, that's how you do it. So it's all based off the ship too, which kind of makes sense. Okay, that I think is about an hour's worth of gameplay, and that is so much to get into that I definitely want to try a PvP match. So we're going to stop this video right here, and you can probably find the PvP match stuff on for the next, either later today or tomorrow. I'm going to actually get a couple people I know and invite them to do a match or two with me because it seems like a lot of fun. Thanks for watching. This is Space Marine 2. Like I said, you can order it on Fanatical. I think it's 15% off right now for $53 instead of the normal $60. That's why I always link them. Like literally, I buy all my own games from them because it's the cheapest, credible one you can actually buy from without doing like crazy gray keys or stuff like that. And I am going to now go on to my YouTube page and find a random commenter and gift them Space Marine because I did that because they gave me a free key, which is awesome of them. So yeah, let's take advantage of that. And gents and ladies, thanks for watching. Hopefully you've enjoyed Space Marine 2 because I certainly am. And if you see anyone named Bonsai in your server, feel free to slap and teabag them a little bit because I'll know I deserve it. Have a great day out there. Thanks for watching.
Keep trying.